Hey, Theo here. When we move back, let me explain to you guys about how speed of a computer works. You may wonder, what makes your phone run? Well, two things. We're gonna talk about one more than the other: CPU and RAM. A CPU is basically what your computer is. The better it is, the better quality it is, the better run things. But that's not the only That's not the only thing in the picture. We also have RAM, which RAM stands for random access memory, which is basically memory. I know it's memory that is used to run your games. Like how it takes. Like even the simplest reactions take RAM, like booting up your PC. See, like what I'm doing right now. Now, that kind of stuff takes up RAM. And here's the thing though. I've watched some YouTube. I watched some YouTube, and if you want to know where I got my kind of information, I got my information from the YouTuber Linus. This Tech Tips. That's where I've got my recent research. Now, although a good CPU matters, RAM actually can make your thing run fast. Only as it can to a point. It starts going fast, but then there's just a point where it makes a size difference, which I'm pretty sure that's just realistically that could also be the CPU in effect, but of course different things need different power. Where like this thing is running off at least that I know of, it's running off at least 5 gigabytes of RAM, and probably has like an okay CPU. Of course, it's taking a while, but that's probably because of alternative difficulties. It doesn't really take this long. Usually, it takes like a few minutes. So this isn't normal. I don't know why it's doing this. I'll try to figure that out. Now, which it takes RAM to do things. It takes RAM to even view YouTube. And even though RAM may not seem important, here's how important RAM is. Say you're running Roblox on the lowest graphics. You have a phone with 1 gigabyte of RAM, and you have a tablet with 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. The phone can't run Roblox, but the tablet with an extra 500 megabytes of RAM can run it kind of mediocrely, but at least it's still technically an enjoyable experience. That's the title of my personal example was used, but was basically putting a $30 phone next to a $150 tablet. Does that make sense? So that was just personal experience, of course. But hey, what do I know? No. So what I want to mention is that there's something I want to mention. RAM can make a difference. Friends, that's the point. Here's an example. Going from 8 to 16 gigabytes of RAM is equal to going from an Xbox One to an Xbox Series X. For some people that don't have an Xbox, or because of the shortage, or just because they prefer to have not that great exclusives. For the PlayStation side, the PlayStation equipment would be going from the PS4 to the PS5. If you want a comparison, if you don't have an Xbox, of course, it's a big gap. A single gigabyte can make a difference. Friends, like the Wii Like the Wii U is about. But the thing is, sometimes the CPU does matter. Like the Wii U has 4 times the amount of RAM as an Xbox 360, but that I know of, it runs similarly, which could be because Nintendo cheaped out with the cheaper CPU because they had a gamepad with a HD screen on it. And no, it's not 1080p, unfortunately. 720p. Nintendo's been basically using 720p screens since the Wii U era. And don't even get me started on the 3DS screens. Those things are horrible. Well, 3DS screen's horrible. Wii U screen, alright. The Switch screen, great. Just wish it was 1080p instead of 720p. Okay, but hey, don't say it or else you're gonna offend the people who who say 720p looks similar to 1080p. Frick you, 1080p is better. And you'll never win an argument, man, ever again. Admit you're wrong if you think 720p is good, get out. Get the frick out of this house if you think that's good. 1080p is better. It's the best way to watch things. 4K is, but no, 4K takes up too much storage anyways. I did some research, and to make a 16-minute 4K video, I would need about 32 gigabytes, which would be, fun fact, half of a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, which now I talk about I have a Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. Now I talk about the Samsung Galaxy S9. I want to I want to tell you something. The movement from 8 gigabytes, the movement from 4 gigabytes of RAM to 8 gigabytes of RAM could be compared to the movement from a Nintendo Switch to an Xbox One. An Xbox One in perfect condition, not an Xbox One that's slowly killing itself like mine over there. There. So, yeah, there's a lot more to power. Of course, you got RAM, but you also got the CPU. If the CPUs were similar though, it would be able to give off a more accurate experience overall. Of course, I have no idea what exact CPU I have in here. Here, all I know is that this thing probably has like 5 gigabytes of RAM, which would be the similar amount of RAM, which would be like slightly more RAM than a Nintendo Switch, saying you have 4, which is the same amount of RAM that an S9, that hits a Galaxy S9 sits at. And when I mention RAM, I want to talk about of course the Oculus Quest 2 and the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, both on the point of 0.6 gigabytes of RAM. Both can run 4K. Okay, they're similarly powered. From my experience, that is. I'll tell you something. A Quest 2 is more powerful than a Nintendo Switch, which means that realistically, it would be probably better to turn your Oculus into an Android device than to turn your Switch into an Android device. Except for the fact that the Oculus doesn't support multi-touch and probably using two pointers doesn't work, and that's why you can't run Sketch on the Oculus. You know what Sketch is? Sketch is a drawing. Wait, no. Don't get off task. You gotta talk about RAM and CPUs. I don't know anything about CPUs. Of course, I know that there's CPUs and GPUs. I know that GPUs are better than CPUs. That's really all I know of. And if I got that fact wrong, please comment it down below, because I'm not letting YouTube to tell me if I should have comments on my videos or not. Not frick you, Google. Sorry. We're back to talking about video. We're not talking about video inputs. That was last videos. That was for the last video. Which I'm pretty sure nobody watched that video. Except for like nobody watched it. I mean no one. Nobody watched it. Maybe like a few people. Well, I have no idea. Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry. Got a little detour. So let's get back on track. RAM is a big difference. Going from 2 to 1 is major. It's like going from a Cloud Mobile C5 to a 5 to a J7 Star. It's a difference.
A big difference.
But of course, though, there's only so much of a difference that RAM can make. with your CPU.
7, you're gonna go outside, okay? Bella's
Okay.
gonna go with you.
Okay, well, there's a difference. There's a noticeable difference with RAM from even 1 extra gigabyte. But thing is, though, there's a point where no matter how much RAM you add, it can so much RAM can only go so far unless of course you have a better CPU to your computer. There's a huge gap between 8 and 16 gigabytes of RAM, but there isn't a huge gap between 256 gigabytes and 512 gigabytes. Unless of course you're trying to run something big as frick that takes up so much freaking RAM to do of course, but you may say, how much RAM is a good amount? Well, with an okay CPU, for the average user, I would recommend 8 to 32 for gaming, and 32 to 64 for video, editing, crap like that. And hey, if you need more RAM, I guess you do. I don't know, RAM isn't really that expensive, but hey, what do I know? No, I only watched a few YouTube videos, and I didn't fully understand everything. So I don't know the ins and outs of a computer. I barely even learned that there's three different types of ports for RAM today. While finding some RAM and trying to expand my computer's RAM. With spoilers, I can't. But thing is though, so you can buy like 16 gigabytes of RAM for only like $60, which is probably equal to a Nintendo Switch game realistically. So maybe it could be a lot or little. So I have no idea why the people keep on watching my videos. It'll all strange overall. All that I know of course. Of course, I don't know much. Of course, who am I? Stupid. So let's get going. That I know of, I've covered everything about RAM. And I don't know what my computer's problem is. So, see you guys next time. Let's figure out what the frick's wrong with my computer.